Hey yo, I was looking at my motherboard and I saw that it has M.2 slots. What do people usually use those for? M.2 slots are super versatile. They're mainly used for storage, but they can also handle Wi-Fi cards and even Bluetooth adapters. Let's pour over the details. Oh, well, if they can do all that, there must be different types of M.2 drives then, right? Yep, the main two ones are M.2 SATA and M.2 NVMe drives. What's the difference between those two? M.2 SATA drives use the same technology as the older 2.5-inch SSDs, so they can top out around 600 megabits per second. But M.2 NVMe drives use the PCIe interface, which can hit speeds of 7,000 megabits per second or more, depending on the PCIe generation. So M.2 NVMe is like 10 times faster? Exactly, and in addition to speed, there's also latency. M.2 NVMe drives have much lower latency because they can connect directly to the CPU through PCIe lanes instead of going through the slower SATA controller. So what's the latency actually affect? Lower latency means data can be accessed almost instantly. For gaming, that helps with faster load times and smoother performance in open world games where data has to load constantly as you move. For work, like video editing, it means faster access to your files and less lag when you're scrubbing through your music or your footage. But depending on how often and how many assets you need to load, sometimes you can't really tell the difference between SATA and NVMe. What about something like Microsoft's direct storage? So that's where NVMe really shines. Direct storage is a feature that skips the CPU and sends the game assets straight from the NVMe drive to the GPU. Games like Forspoken already use it to load huge environments in seconds without lagging. So M.2 NVMe slots aren't just fast, it sounds like they're better for future-proofing too. For sure, more games and software are being built to take advantage of NVMe speeds, so you'll be ready for those upgrades. Okay, so if M.2 NVMe is so much better, why does M.2 SATA even exist? Well, price, compatibility, and size. SATA drives are cheaper and they work in older systems that don't support NVMe. They're also fine for storing files like photos and documents where speed really isn't that important. And they're smaller than a normal SSD or an HDD, so they can give you more space to work with inside your PC case. Okay, so SATA is more budget friendly, but NVMe is way better for performance. That's right. If you're gaming, editing, or using direct storage, I'd go for NVMe. But if you need extra storage for general files or you want to play smaller size games, SATA still gets the job done. I would at least put my Windows operating system on NVMe though to really speed it up.